We're making a mixed paella, and I learned to prepare this when I lived in Spain. I was working in a restaurant, and I learned to prepare the paella there in Valencia, Spain. Yeah, I'm putting chicken now. That's the first thing I want to put, and you don't need a lot of protein. You just need a little because you're going to be using sausage and shrimp and fish and clams, and so we don't need to use a lot of chicken. It's a little bit of a lot of different things. Now this is getting seared. We want it nice and gold, a nice golden brown.
That is plain.
We're not going to cook it all the way through, just get it seared. This is turning out very nicely. So now this is pretty much ready to be taken out because we don't want it to overcook. The preparations for making the paella, you have to do all the chopping and all the cutting before you ever get started. It's fairly quick. Once you start putting things into the pan, you have to continually be tending to them. So I chopped my onion in small little cubes about the size of a grain of rice, and my green bell pepper too. I chop it really small. Then I cut my red bell pepper in long strips so that it's very colorful on there. And then I chop my garlic. I got all my herbs, my oregano, my saffron, and also my condiments, salt and pepper. I got all that ready before I ever started. And of course I had all my protein inside Ziploc bags with ice all around them because seafood needs to be kept really cold to keep it fresh. And I'll be putting it in here. Oh. And I'm ready for the sausage now. This is mild Italian sausage, and we're adding it to give another depth of flavor. So I'm going to sear this, and then I'm going to go ahead and add the shrimp, but the shrimp is just 1 second and you pull it out. Sometimes what I do is just take it out of take the pan away from the fire. That way I don't overcook the shrimp. So that's what I'm doing now, but I'm not going to turn the fire out. Oh, the smoke. This is part of the problem of cooking outdoors. Here's my shrimp. And like I said, we don't need a lot of protein because we're using many different types of protein. So this is basically one side the other side, and this is how long this shrimp takes. We will add it on to the top of the rice once our rice is cooked. If we were to leave all this in there, it would overcook, and we don't want to do that. So now I'm taking this out. I'm going to set it aside. So now I'm going to do the onion and the bell peppers. And all I'm doing with this onion and bell pepper is getting it translucent, and then I can add the rice to this. This is nice. It's already cut into, you want to cut the bell pepper and the onion really small, because if you cut it too big, they have to be about the size of a grain of rice. So you want to get a nice small cut, but it doesn't have to be perfect. This is a peasant dish, so it's cooked on the beach usually over a wood fire. The fishermen would come in with their catch of the day, and they would cook on the beach, right on the beach. So now we're waiting for this to get a nice color on it. And I will add this, which is umber. This is for a garnish, like an ornament on top. And I want to trim a little. I don't need to cook it all the way through. So I'm putting them in here, and then I'll be taking them out. And I'll put them back into the pan when I put them in. Along nicely, and with these you can make for a lot of people if you want, for a larger party, because all you're doing is cooking everything in one pan, so it makes it easy to make it for 10 or 30 or 50. The 50-person pan, at the end, when you get done, it weighs about, with the rice and all the protein, it weighs about 600 pounds. You can't carry it. It takes 2-3 men to carry that big paella pan. And it's ideal for larger parties, like weddings, or because you can do a very rustic or very pretty, very ornamental. So here, all I'm doing is I want to cook this just a little, just to get it tender, and I'll be taking it out in a minute. none of this is overcooked. It's lightly cooked. What I will be doing is adding all the goodness from there. We'll be adding the rice and the veggies. I'm adding the rice now. It's about a cup and a half of rice and some vegetables. And I want to sauce these just to coat the rice and those flavors and get some of the oil around the rice so it's not so sticky. This is called sofrito. And all of Spanish cooking has the onion and the now that I have coated this, I'm going to be adding some stock. This is just a vegetable stock, and you keep adding as you need it. And I will, these are juices that I made of chicken, and I had a lot of juicy goodness left, so I froze it, and then I can use it when I make rice to give more flavor. It has all the flavors and all the spices, and it's perfect for making rice or even pasta or a stew or soup. And now I'll be adding a little bit of tomato. I don't want a lot. I just want some for coloring and to give it a little bit of acid so that it has a good balance and it's not bland. And we'll add salt and pepper to taste. And then we'll continue to keep adding liquid as we need it. Here I have salt. And rice, you need to add a good amount of salt or it becomes very bland. But on the other hand, remember you'll be adding clams and mussels and fish. And if you don't add enough, if you add too much salt, it will be too salty. So now all we do is just wait until this rice cooks nicely, and about 5 to 6 minutes before it's done, we add the rest of the ingredients. We add them back.
Yes, that does smell good.
Oh, with the saffron, it'll smell better.
Better? I don't think
It can smell better. Saffron, and we'll add oregano and bay leaf. I have to keep adding and adding the liquid, the stock, or if you don't want to use stock. I'm using just vegetable, but you can use chicken stock. And it's better to not use the little cube stock because it's too salty. Those cubes are mostly salt. So it will make your food too salty. But if you use there's a paste you can buy, and that's a good one. It's not salty. And if you don't want to use that, you just make your own stock. And if you don't want to use that, you can use the pre-made broth. I usually like vegetable because it allows me to put whatever flavor I want. If I have fish, it's better than to add chicken to the fish on the rice. As this gets consumed, the rice absorbs more liquid. You just keep adding. You want it dry, but you don't want it like you don't want it necessarily as a thick risotto. You almost want it to the risotto consistency. You definitely don't want it completely dry. It has to be creamy, and it has to get all the flavors from the vegetables and the meats. It's smelling good, but it smells like it needs a little bit more salt. So I will add salt to this because I want to make sure it tastes good. If there's no seasoning, it'll be bland. And you can see how this is being absorbed and the rice is getting larger as it absorbs the water, the liquid. So like I said, we'll keep adding, and it takes about 20 minutes and you're done. The advantage of this is that everyone serves themselves, so you can put this paella pan in the middle of the table and everybody takes what they want. So it's great for large parties because everyone can serve themselves. And they get as much food as they want, and it's only one dish. Everything is in one dish. There's no plating. It makes for an easy party food. And it's very hearty and tasty. And I added more water because I can see that the center of the rice is really, really white. And the edges are getting translucent, which means it's starting to cook. But I don't want a hard center. This is not supposed to be a crispy rice. It's supposed to be totally cooked through. You don't want to overcook it, but it should not be crunchy. So I added more water. I think with all the stock we added, it was enough. Now we can start adding water and let it keep cooking. And in a minute, I'm going to put all the proteins back in and let everything finish cooking off the last 10 minutes. What I can do is start to put my bell peppers. I usually put the bell peppers going around like in a circle and facing the same way because it looks really pretty. And then I can put the clams and the mussels at the last minute. And you can kind of strain them out as you need. And if it's flipped the wrong way, you just pick it up and put it where you want it. It's that easy. And I'm going to be putting the rest of this in there. You can see it's coming together and it looks really pretty. The contrast of colors. I leave the green beans long if I don't have time to, or I can't find green beans. I buy the frozen, same with the peas. And it makes it easier. They're there mostly for color and flavor. The star of this dish is really the rice. So, now that I have all these bell peppers lined up, I will put back the rest of my protein. I have my sausage and the shrimp. And I usually line up my shrimp in the middle. Some of everything so people can serve themselves between the bell peppers, and they get a bell pepper and some of everything lined up. Here we are. One last shrimp, and now we'll be putting the mussels and clams and fish here. And I put them by the edge. They will pop open. And they will look very, very good. And it will taste amazing. So that it opens up. It allows the mussels and clams to open up. Like fish. And this will be the end. I'll put little pieces of fish here and there. This is just halibut. It's Canadian halibut. I try to get things that are fresh and that are good quality. And since you can put any type of meats in there, it doesn't matter. It can be all things like you can have beef and chicken and sausage, or you can have a pig here. And now we're just waiting for this to finish, the rice to finish cooking and to cook the fish and the other ingredients all the way through. In about 10 minutes I'll be done. Once the clams and the mussels open up, we're done. We know the fish has to be cooked. And the shrimp too. That's what I was missing. I was missing my chicken. I'll put it in because there isn't enough time. It wasn't so big, so I'll put it in. Have it finished cooking. Put some chicken on this side. I see one clam already popped open, 2 clams, Almost there. This other mussel too. So we're almost there. Liquid and eating the rice. I'm flipping this over as we wait for those clams and mussels to open up. Almost. Just a little bit more. It'll be all done. It smells unbelievable. Now you can actually see the clam. This clam is totally popped open and this one is getting there. It was very cold. They were in ice, so they're really, really cold. That's why the mussels and the clams are taking longer, because the heat has to get from the shell and then to the inside. And now we're almost there with the rice. You can see it's starting to cook through, and you can see it's starting to get thicker, like a sauce, a thicker sauce. Let me tweak this up a little. I'm getting. Okay. So it's almost there. We can see that the clams and mussels are opening up, and now it's getting drier, but it's not completely dry. The fish looks like it's cooked, and the chicken definitely is cooked. I think we're pretty much there.
Good.
It smells good. Do you want to get a plate from over there?
Sure. What sort of question is that?
The wrap.
Okay.
Okay, this looks like it's done. The fish is cooked, and the chicken is cooked, and the clams and the mussels have opened up. So we can just serve it. We want to get a little bit of everything in the plate, including the shrimp. But we definitely want to get fish and chicken in each plate, and mussels and clams, so that the person can have a little bit of everything. Let me get a towel. Clean up the thing a little bit. And there it is. A nice seafood chicken paella with sausage. We have the mussels and the clams and the shrimp. Each plate should get fish, shrimp, and whatever paella you're making. Everybody should get a little bit of protein, and they should definitely get a lot of rice because this is a rice dish. The star of the plate is actually the rice with the saffron and tomato and all the yummy goodness of everything we put in there. I'm Lillian, and I'm with Top LA Chef. You can reach me at 626-888-2433. That's 626-888-CHEF. Or you can email me at lily@toplachef.com, or you can visit our website at toplachef.com.